Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we've got a slightly different format today, so we are going to be talking about the PSVR 2, and I'll jump straight into what I said in the title. If you have £7.50 and a PSVR 2, then Hubris is something you really need to buy. It's heavily discounted at the moment, so if you have any of the subscription services, that will reduce it even further. So on the Premium Plus, I think I paid just over £6, which is an absolute steal. I had looked at Hubris before. It's been out on PC and on Quest 3. Obviously on Quest 3 it's going to take a bit of a graphical hit, so I didn't pick that up on the headset, but it was one that I was keeping my eye on. Playthrough time wise, it's estimated for what they call a completionist, which is someone that explores all of the environment at around about 5 to 6 hours, which I think is probably about the norm for a virtual reality experience. We don't really get games now with the playthrough time of the flat screens, just because it's just much more demanding on the machines and costs more to develop. So graphically, first and foremost, it was well known that Hubris was one of the best, if not the best looking games on the platform, and actually probably on some others. That has a tendency to mean that you're getting, super lifelike graphics, but not an awful lot of content, which I don't think is the case here actually. So there is clearly a lot of love that's gone into the game's development. There are a lot of mechanics that they've tried to fit into the experience, and I'm roughly about 2 hours into my playthrough. Measure of a good game for me is that I don't want to rush it and I don't want it to be over. And in some ways, by looking how long the game lasted, that kind of informed how I played through. So as you could see at the start of the video, I did take a minute just to really enjoy the environments because they are incredible. Particularly the draw distances. I have played most of my VR content on the Quest 3. Obviously that takes a bit of a hit. Story wise, we are a recruit that has crash landed onto a planet that's being terraformed. There is a story arc over this where we are searching for our colleagues currently, and as seems quite customary now with VR titles, we have a little robot companion that essentially is our guide through the process. So in this case, we did have another colleague that's inside this spacecraft that we just saw, trying to get it unflooded, and they're using the droid to help us. So straight away we can see here we've got some climbing mechanics which operated really well, so I never found that I was stuck in the environment. I did play in a standing position rather than seated, but I didn't need the full kind of recommended area, so I was a bit conscious of hitting lights and televisions, I've got to say, but with a relatively small play area I didn't have to worry about stepping out of the zone and breaking the immersion. As well as the climbing mechanics, we have some of the best swim mechanics that I've experienced. I'd probably put them on par with Subside. And in terms of the overall game, if I had to categorise it, I would put it somewhere in the middle of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and the Red Matter games. So the puzzle solving elements, they're not as inventive or complex as the Red Matter series, I would say that. There's some kind of environmental puzzles to traverse, for want of a better phrase. We do have some crafting as well, so there will be some resource gathering in the different environments to then go and use machinery to create the various things that we'll need on our playthrough. There is also some combat which I've experienced so far, so without giving too much away, there are some squid type creatures down there in the water, so we will need an underwater gun, which we'll get in this video. Later on, certainly within the first 2 hours of my playthrough, I also experienced some drones and some humanoids. In terms of the character acting, I would agree with some other reviews that they are a little bit lackluster, a little bit one-dimensional, but I wouldn't say that that takes away from the game as a whole. It's more of a kind of story to link everything together, so you're not just wandering around aimlessly. So as you can see, there's various things dotted around the environment. Some of those are going to be things that we can use for crafting, and you saw me just pick up what I can only describe as a space fruit. So in terms of the mechanics themselves, there is a button to equip your weapon once you've found it. There for the pistol is a reload mechanic, so that once you've used all the ammunition, you just push a cartridge back up to reload it, which isn't too much of a problem during combat. The AI are not massively intelligent, so it's not the most demanding game either. I don't really have an issue with that. I just wanted to enjoy the game. You can of course bump up the difficulty if you want a little bit more of a challenge. In terms of health, you get one of the space fruits there and eat it to restore health, and you can see that if you then look on your left wrist. That's of course if you're right-handed and set your right as your dominant hand. That will show a percentage of health that you can upgrade. There's then also an inventory in there. So as you grab items, as is customary with a lot of VR games these days, then you're going to put those over your shoulder to put them into your inventory. There's also some upgrades to the pistols. I think there's also a shotgun and a semi-automatic weapon. So far on my playthrough, it's kind of unlocked just what I needed to progress to the next stage. So we're going to head back down now to go and harvest ourselves some squids and show you some of these water mechanics. So you can see all those ripples. It's very, very realistic. The motion is a physical swimming motion, and if you want to go further up, and you push down with your hands and vice versa to propel through the water. I didn't look too much into the settings themselves. I'm not sure whether you can set this to just be a button swim, but I think that kind of takes away from the immersion. And there's some nice little touches. So I'm not sure whether it's going to pick up on the audio because I'm doing a voiceover afterwards on this particular video. But if you go up top, then the environmental music is clearer, a little bit more muffled under the water. And all those little things just add to the immersion. And those are the key things for me in terms of virtual reality games, is that you want immersion, and it's very difficult to convey the kind of the sense of actually being in the game and the scale on just a flat screen video. Hopefully that has been fairly informative. If you're on the fence about going ahead and buying the game, then I do believe that if you have one of the subscriptions, then you can do a trial, because the subscription packages I do think are a little bit light on the VR content. I think I commented on that on one of my previous videos. So I was very pleased to see that Hubris was on such a heavy discount. It was a toss-up between this and Alien Rogue Incursion, which is also on sale at, I think, just under £10. I think I made the right choice with this one. So hopefully that gives you an idea. If you can give the video a thumbs up, do please put some comments in about the different type of editing that I've done here, because it helps me know how I should create my future content, because I do intend to capture some more from inside the headset. I'm doing this with Share Factory, so we'll see how this plays out when I get it onto YouTube. Hopefully the audio is not all over the place and I don't get demonetized, although I haven't got enough subscribers, so that won't be a problem. I won't get any copyright issues. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.